Let's get deeper into this now with Jonah Blank. He's an expert on studying people and their cultures. He works for the RAND Corporation. I want to thank you for coming in. Why don't we begin by taking a look at some pictures? I mean, we'll put them up on the monitor. You can take a look at them. These are some of the people the Nigerian government calling on to take on and fight Boko Haram. You see these folks here. Some of the folks, actually farmers here with a slingshot. And it really begs the question, are the Nigerian forces up to the task?
Well, Mike, I think they're really not. And in fairness to the Nigerian military, counterinsurgency is a very, very difficult thing. The United States found that out in Afghanistan and Iraq. The Nigerian military is nowhere near as capable as the US military, and they're just not even really trying to fight an effective counterinsurgency.
Let's talk about not trying, because one of the complaints about the Nigerian government is that they're not doing enough. And President Goodluck Jonathan, after the schoolgirls were abducted, he came out and spoke on May 4th. That was about 19 days after the incident. And I want you to listen to some of the criticism coming from the Nigerian people after his statements.
He should step down and let someone else take over the seat and do something for Nigeria. But Nigeria is a great country, and it's a peaceful country, it's a great country, and we need peace in this country.
A good president should protect his people, stand for his people, provide for his people, be there for his people, act on behalf of his people. That is why we voted him in there, for him to stand for us. But he has not done well in that area.
You know, a lot of anger at this president, and it's been throughout this whole process. I guess the question's the same. Is he up to the task? Is the government up to the task?
Well, he hasn't given his people a whole lot of reason to have confidence in him so far. What's going on here? Part of it is that Goodluck Jonathan has his base in the south of Nigeria. He comes from the Niger Delta. His political opponents are concentrated in the north, and particularly the northeast. Boko Haram has its main base of activity in the northeastern states where Goodluck Jonathan's political opponents are clustered. In a sense, he feels like this isn't really his problem. He feels like he's not necessarily the president for all Nigerians, which is really what he's got to become.
Wow, and that's, when you couple that with what you just described with the military, it's a huge problem, isn't it?
It is. It's an enormous problem, because Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa. It's the engine of at least the top half of Africa, of the Saharan region. And Goodluck Jonathan and the Nigerian military are treating Boko Haram as if it's an annoyance rather than an existential threat to a prosperous, harmonious Nigeria.
We've heard so much about ISIL, the caliphate, Boko Haram saying much the same thing. Give us kind of their agenda. What is the plan there with this group?
Well, Boko Haram claims to want to bring in an Islamist state in the northeastern part of Nigeria. But the radical, violent ideology they preach is utterly rejected by the half of Nigeria's population that is Muslim. It's rejected by 99.9% of all Muslims everywhere. They really don't seem to have much of a positive agenda. A lot of what they're doing, really almost everything they're doing, doesn't even have an Islamic rationale to it. A lot of it is just nihilism.
We saw these schoolgirls abducted, many of them still missing. Not too long ago, these 10-year-old girls detonating bombs going off. But yet, it's almost if you were to look at this on a radar screen, it's a blip. What is it about what's happening there that doesn't seem to resonate worldwide? I mean, even if here in the United States, very few people talking about this. They're talking a lot about the attacks in France, but not this. Why?
Mike, that's a really good question. And sadly, I think part of it is here in America, in the West, throughout the world, people tend to be a little bit more affected by the tragedies affecting people who look like them. And there's too much of a tendency to just say everything is dangerous in Africa, everything is violent. Well, that's not the case. Boko Haram is really an aberration. And when 2,000 people get killed in a single day, as your report showed, that should be news everywhere, here in America, in Asia, in France, everywhere. Terrorism in France should be condemned, and terrorism in Nigeria should be condemned.
Well, absolutely, and we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming in and offering insight tonight.
Thank you so much.